All right, we're coming to hole number 9. I've got myself down to hit the fairway and the green, par 5. It's a par 5 dogleg to the left. All right, so Mr. Short Game says that we are keeping track of our stats wrong. I always write down fairways, greens in regulation, and putts because I want to track how many fairways I hit, how many greens in regulations I hit. Greens in regulation, that he says to work that backwards. So go ahead and set goals for how many you want to hit. So there's 14 fairways out here and 18 greens, which is pretty standard for most golf courses, depending on what par is and how many par 3s and yada, yada, yada. I want to see how I do, because if I look on the card and I say, okay, I'm supposed to hit this fairway, it's supposed to be this mental trick that allows you to focus more on that task of just hitting the fairway. Doesn't matter what club, distance is irrelevant. Just hit the fairway and focus on that. And that helps you to take it one shot at a time, I believe. And we're going to see. We're going to see if it helps my mental game, which will in turn help my physical game and manifest itself out here to create better scores, better scoring opportunities, and much better stats at the end of the day. So let's get it. Now this first hole is a fairly simple starting hole. It's par 5, just under 500 yards. Fairway's pretty straight. It's fairly generous, but if you get off to the left a little bit, there can be some garbage over there. So I really want to hit this fairway. A little side note, today is round number 5, I believe, in my shoes. They've been doing great so far. In case any of you guys are wondering, here's your update. Okay, so I struck that one really well. It looks like I am just off, well, I don't know. It's hard to tell the way they've got this cut out here today. There's really not a lot of distinction between the rough and the fairway. So I'm gonna say that I did hit the fairway here, but I'm just on the right side. So that actually landed, hit the ground, and came back. It's really wet out here today. It's really cold conditions. So I'm not looking for anything spectacular. Just trying to hit fairways and greens. Well struck down the right side. So I marked that I wanted to hit this fairway and I wanted to hit this green. So fairway is accomplished, but the fairway is the easy part. As far as my stats go, the green is more difficult. Very fat shot, short of the green. It was aimed right at the green. It was going toward the green. Came up well short. That first hole, I did not get up and down and save my par. I made bogey. And I'm going to attribute that to missing the green. I mean, that's a direct correlation between missing a green and making a bogey. These stats are not the end-all be-all. It doesn't mean that you are not going to make or you are going to make a certain score, but they really do tie into it. This is a par 3. I've shot it. It's about 172 to the flag. I did not say that I needed to hit this green because honestly, if I'm a little short and I'm a little left, I've got a good play into the flag, so it's not critical that I hit this green to make a par. And that's kind of the criteria that I'm using. One thing that I'm finding that is going to be kind of tricky is you've got to be honest when you're looking for which fairways and which greens you think you're going to hit or which ones you need to hit. Because, I mean, you're going to say, well, I want to hit every fairway and I want to hit every green. I mean, that's always your goal. So it's kind of weird trying to say, well, that's okay, I'll miss this fairway. That's just odd. Not sure if that hit the green or not. I did not catch it very well. So I would not be surprised if I missed this green at all.
Time for a short par 4. One thing you'll notice about this course, if you keep watching, is that you have these really tight chute-like fairways that are lined with trees on both the left and the right. This one, I definitely marked that I want to hit the fairway in it, and I'm going to hit a 5-iron off the tee. Well struck. A little bit of hook on it. It's not going to be in the fairway, but it should be in play just fine, I think. Unless I just happened to get a bad bounce and ended up behind a tree.
So I was behind one of those trees, not directly behind it, but it definitely affected my shot. I had to kind of manipulate it around it. Oh God, wow. The bridge out here. I'm hoping I'm on the green. I did put down that I wanted to hit this green. And it looks like I'm about 5 to 6 feet short.
This has proven to be difficult so far. It's actually 2 balls sitting right there beside each other. I didn't hit 2. So the golf ball over there was a Nike NDX Turbo. Made my par there. Chipped up, safe par from behind a tree. That's good. Stats tell me that I played that hole terrible. I missed the fairway, I missed the green. Made a par. Weird.
All right, here's a 416-yard par 4. I did say I wanted to hit the fairway and the green here. It's not too tight, but it's not exactly wide open either, but I need the length because it's 416 yards, so driver. Well, that's a terrible swing. Driver has not been my friend lately. Out on the range the other day working on it. It wasn't very good. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't very good. I had some weird movement in that swing right there. I felt my hips really kind of go after it instead of just letting the club drop. So it's totally my fault. Bad swing. But I think I should be okay. I think I should be, yeah, it's right here in the middle of the fairway. So, you know, here we go again. If you look at my stats, you think, okay, this ball ended up right in the middle of the fairway. It's a great shot, right? Well, it's a good shot in its result, but it was really low. It was a terrible swing. It didn't go nearly as far as it should have.
Was it a great shot? It certainly didn't look like a skilled shot. The green has some slope coming into it, so you really got to carry it most of the way there. My natural shot shape is a draw with it. We got some trees on the left. And, you know, ultimately there's just not a lot of penalty up there for a miss. So we're going to give this a shot. Well, it sounded good enough, but it was a low, really low, screaming hook. So again, the bad ball striking just continues. I've got to focus more on my game. I've got a long putt here to try and save a par. I'm not going to try and blame that on the camera. I'm not going to try and blame that on the vlog, but it does make it more difficult, much more difficult to concentrate. So I think I might just turn the camera on and be quiet for a while. Do a montage.
Not going well today. I have not been playing much or practicing as much lately, but that's no excuse really. I mean, I know a lot of people would say, well, it is an excuse. You have to practice all the time. You have to play all the time. But if that's the case, and I have to practice 2 and 3 times a week, every week without fail, and I have to play 2 and 3 times a week without fail, or else the wheels come off and I play garbage golf, then I just might as well give up the game because I can't devote that much time to it. And I don't want to come out here and play terrible golf. I want to play decent golf. So this is a 381-yard par 4. I've marked this fairway as one to be hit. I'm going with the driver. It's kind of wide open. I think this is hole number 7, I believe. We'll see. It might be number 8. I don't know. I've lost track. That was struck well, but it's down the right side. I don't think I'm going to be in the fairway technically, but I won't be in the woods either, so very playable. Ooh, free golf ball. I'll take that, thank you. We're coming to hole number 9. I've got myself down to hit the fairway and the green on this hole. This is a slight dog leg. Well, no, it's a dog leg to the left. Par 5. It's a par 5 dog leg to the left. 505 yards. Fairway's fairly generous, so I'm gonna hit the driver, see what happens. So that's dead down the middle with a little baby draw. I don't know how that looks on camera. It felt a little weird as far as swing. But that's just the way I drew it up, right where I was aiming. Felt really good. I'm very pleased with that. All right, so that 9's over with. I ended up with a total score of 41. Par on that backside is 36. Not awful. Not the greatest, but not awful. Conditions out here were pretty bad today. I know on camera it probably doesn't look that bad, but as you walk, all you hear is the sponge of wet, soggy mud under your feet, no matter where you are. All right, so let's go over kind of what we learned today. In one sentence, my thoughts are, I need more time to experiment with it. I need to try it another couple of times to see what I get, to see if it makes a difference, because just doing it one time is not a fair test or a fair review. I can't just go out and play one round of golf, try this strategy, and then come back and say, man, that's crap. Don't use that stuff. I need more time with it. I need to try it a couple more times. However, my initial impressions of it, I'm a bit confused. Maybe you guys can go and comment on his video, get a hold of him, and tell him to come comment in this video to explain to all of us what he means. Does he mean to write down all of the fairways and greens in regulation that you think you will hit? Or does he put down the fairways and greens and regulations that he thinks he can hit? Or is it the fairways and greens and regulations that you want to hit? I don't know. I'm guessing that you're trying to sort of set goals but also be predictive. I think that in the spirit of it, you're probably trying to be a little bit realistic with it, but you're also trying to push your boundaries a little bit. If you feel you're only going to hit 5 greens, maybe put down that you're going to hit 7. And if you feel like you're only going to hit 8 fairways, maybe try and put down that you're going to hit 10. So there's probably a balance between realistic expectations of what your average is and what's likely, but also at the same time trying to add in a little bit of push your boundaries a little bit to make yourself perform and set loftier goals than your average.